So, an update for you guys. I've tried to make this video so many times, so we're just gonna do it. I quit my job. If you don't know, and I'm not sure if I've mentioned it in any previous videos within the last couple of years, but I was a probation officer for the county that I live in, and I essentially struggled from day one in that job. For the first 6 months, I just cried all the time. I was so stressed out, but I figured there was a learning curve and that I could adapt, and I did. A lot of things that I loved about my job, my coworkers who I became very close friends with, the support that I received from my supervisor at work, and my office. I loved my office so much. I mean, I had gone back to school to get my degree to become a probation officer, so when I walked into my office every morning, that's one of the first things that I saw was my degree hanging on my wall. So, yeah, but I was started there in January of 21, and so it's been 4.5 years, and finally, about a month and a half ago, Steve and I really sat down and talked about me leaving and stepping away, taking a hiatus, a break, and really determining what it was that I wanted to do, what I had a passion for, and just pursue things on the side for myself that just I never had the mental capacity, I guess you could say, to do before. I mean, I had all the time in the world because we don't have children, it's just him and I, so my evenings were completely open, but it's just I would come home mentally drained, just from case planning, problem solving, just working with people all day. It really took a toll. So all the love and shout out to my husband, who really pushed for this and really supported me in making this decision, and yeah, allowed this to happen. So my last day was August 29th, right before the Labor Day holiday. So I'm going into my second week of being at home, trying to figure out a schedule for myself for like cleaning, hobbies, just taking time for myself, catching up with friends, things like that. Part of that is a couple weeks before I quit, I did go to a local coffee shop in the area, and I got this really good like artisanal coffee blend. It was called Brew de Monde, and I looked into what the ingredients were in the coffee, and it said it was a chicory coffee with spiced cinnamon. So I got the spiced cinnamon syrup, and then the coffee that they used, it's this Cafe du Monde. It's chicory, coffee and chicory, and it's specific to like the New Orleans, Louisiana region. And so what I'll do is, and the coffee that I got was like $8 or $9 for a cup, literally like that big, and I was like, this is delicious, but I can't keep doing this, especially if I leave my job. So what I'll do is I'll take a couple of spoonfuls of this, and I'll put it in this little organic, it's like a coffee pouch. I've had this for years, so that's why it's pretty stained at the bottom, but you just put the grounds at the very bottom, couple tablespoons, and you just twist it up and use this. This is all stretched out, but just wrap it around, and I'll take a coffee mug and I'll put probably like half a cup of water in there and soak the grounds overnight, and then I get a really good cold brew in the morning. And I've been making a latte with the spiced brown sugar, spiced cinnamon, or you can do brown sugar, that's really good. And I'll do Fairlife milk, and the Fairlife milk is lactose free, and so it doesn't upset my stomach. It is a little pricey, but I figure it's worth it. Or what I'll do is I cleaned out a pickle jar. I should have grabbed that, but I cleaned out a pickle jar, and I'll do a tablespoon or a tablespoon and a half of this, the Nespresso Gold espresso. So good. My sister turned me on to this, and I actually have another one in my kitchen. You can get it at Walmart or Target. I got this one at Meijer, I think. And I'll put in a shaker ball, the milk, and some flavored creamer in my pickle jar, cleaned out pickle jar, and I'll shake that, and I'll have my latte. So I've been making a lot of coffee at home to try to cut back on the spending, because Steve and I were going to Dunkin'. Occasionally I like Starbucks, things like that, but I've been making all my coffee at home. And then one other thing that I've really been into lately are the like late 80s and 90s aesthetics. And there's this account that I follow on YouTube and Instagram, and her name is Retro Avocado. The O in retro is actually a 0, I think. But she makes the best little videos about like point of view. You're at Panera or Starbucks in the early 2000s and Norah Jones is playing in the background, and I've been loving things like that. And at first I was a little sad about it. I was like, you know, because I'd been through some pretty traumatic things in my life growing up at a young age, and so I wasn't able to fully enjoy that time the way that a lot of people have. But I kind of learned to appreciate it and kind of like reliving in that moment and that magic. So just something I wanted to share with you guys. And something else that ties into that is thrifting. I've been thrifting quite a bit the last few months, kind of reconnecting with the joy of it. I've always thrifted. I grew up in thrift stores with my mom, and I've been finding a lot of really nice like long sleeved cotton shirts to wear around the house. Oh, my dog's here. Housewares, pictures, quilts. I've brought in way too many quilts to this house. My husband works for the Salvation Army, and so we've been going to a lot of thrift store grand openings, and I've just been finding some really good deals. I do have to scale back on that right now, obviously, after leaving my job, but just be more discerning, I guess you'd say. I do have a couple of things in mind. I want to get some like fisherman or like grandpa sweaters or like chunky cardigans for the fall time, so we'll see how that goes. But just wanted to come on here. I do want to and give you guys an update. I do want to start doing more content, more videos. Back when I first started this channel and Steve and I were trying to have a baby, I posted quite a bit, and so I might get back to that, or I might focus more on posting on Instagram more. I'm not really sure. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know where everything is at right now, and hopefully I'll pop on in another week or so. Thanks. Bye.